Hey everyone, Steve here. Today I coached AAA, our ass, abs, and arms class. One of the movements we did was the barbell hip thrust. So excellent movement for building up your glutes. But I wanted to kind of break down some of the finer details to do it in a safe and effective way. So normally you'll just load up a barbell, you'll have a pad right there in the middle of the bar. You can't see it because the plate's in the way. So I'm just going to use this barbell right here. So what you want to do is get that pad right there in the middle of your bar. I like to kind of set the edge of the bench here, the front of the bench, right in the middle of my back or at the kind of the bottom of my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to bring my heels in so they're right below my knees and they'll be about shoulder width apart. And then from here, very important thing I'd like to tell people is touch the bottom of your ribs to your hips. Really kind of lock down, get your abs tight, almost like you're kind of leaning forward a little bit with your head. You're going to have to hold that tension in your abs the entire time. As you drop your hips down, you can see I lean forward, and then I'm going to lean right back up. So lean forward, and really lock the hips out at the top, keeping the abs tight. And you can see the weight stays on my back. I'm not resting on my elbows. I'm still going to have the elbows on the bench, but they're there to make sure I don't kind of slip forward every time I do that drop down. So the big mistake you see with the hip thrust is instead of moving through their hips, they move through their lower back. So just kind of stay here, and they'll just really hyperextend the lower back, and then come back up. So it might feel okay for a couple reps, but what's going to happen is you're going to really start to feel that lower back lock up, and that's not what you want. You want to keep the weight on the glutes, protect the back, and do your hip thrust that way. So when you're using an actual barbell, just to get yourself set up, what I like to do is just sit against the bench, roll it over, roll it over into my waist, kind of draw my knees in as far as I can, use my elbows, kind of shimmy myself up, bring those heels in a little closer, and then again I can go right there. Lock the abs in, ribs to hips, lock out each rep on that hip thrust. And that's going to apply for any sort of shoulder elevated hip thrust variation, whether you're using a sandbag, your body weight, single leg hip thrust, all those same cues I just talked about will apply. All right? So go ahead, try that, and really feel that glute burn.